Good evening. Two Debase Boys here, Gudo and Sean.
Hey.
We're going to go through the final spoilers from FFG that came in through a couple of different channels that we have linked into our Discord, so whenever they get previewed or spoiled, they kind of just pop in and we start chatting away on them. But we wanted to do a video tonight just to go through what we kind of saw yesterday and today.
Yeah, so cool that, like, we have all the cards now, and some of the premier cards are coming through, but or prestige cards, I'm sorry. But other than that, yeah, we know what to expect.
Yeah, the prestige cards look really good. They picked fantastic cards for it this time around. It's not something they've done before, but at least for the first run, they nailed it. And I think they took a lot of the feedback from like some of the, cards they included in top prizing at, the OP stuff. And also just some other feedback they've had from other, cards they've been giving away. Like, why are we getting a gore? Unplayable, but now they've got like the better art for cards that are totally playable. I think that's a good sign going into what's going to be a pretty good future for the game. So,
yeah, that's very cool that they're listening to the feedback and taking that to heart.
Yep, super stoked on it. So we'll jump right in. Let me go to our first card. So first one we're going to preview is Wing Guard Security Team. So off the bat, this card is what I feel to be hot garbage. If there was a rank, I just think for 6. I mean, what's out there for 6 cost that you want to play that can get killed by a takedown? Like nothing.
Yeah. And then, like, when on earth are you going to use that when played ability? Like, if you have like a fringe build around deck, maybe, but yeah, I think this is just a limited card.
Limited card that wouldn't even be my first option for a Sentinel, but I mean, hey, if you need a Sentinel, you're gonna have to pay 6 for it. But give a shield token to each of 2 fringe units. I mean, the keyword fringe is cringe.
Your Wing Guard leaders,
not too stoked on that one. We'll go to the next one, Unity of Purpose. So it's a double green 6 cost plan event. For each friendly unit with a different name, give each unit you control +1/+1. So there was a couple questions, and it is a legendary.
It's legendary. Yeah, so this is like, buff your whole board, but except for your tokens. Or if you have multiple talking out, which I guess in double command you wouldn't, but yeah, so I don't know. It's +1/+1 for your whole unique team isn't that bad, but 6 and double command, like hard pass.
Yeah, I just don't. God, again, it goes back to the what are you paying 6 for in a double green deck, which I mean is probably going to be some kind of villainy deck. There's just too many. Or Hera. Which
Hera got a little bit more love, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't see it right now. I think it could be interesting if you have like a massive board and you play this. I could see things getting out of hand. Because it's not the only good upside to this, I think, is like they're not keeping it to one arena, so it's like everything you have,
yeah, that is true.
Maybe there's a way to go, like, maybe you got 4 or 5 units, you're going into like the 7 resource turn part of the game, and everything just gets a massive buff for 1 turn. I mean, it's a maybe.
Or you play Red 3 or General Dodana or General Veers, and
you're double buffing. Yeah, I think the different name thing kind of is what made it a little weaker, and then of course being in a double green or double aspect, mono aspect, I guess you'd say, kind of limits you.
Yeah.
Next we got the Starhawk. So it's a 9-cost Command Heroism card. The tags on it are New Republic Vehicle Capital Ship. It's a 6/9 Ambushing. So while paying costs, you pay half as many resources rounded up.
And it's legendary.
Okay, so and it is a legendary. So towards the end of the game, if you haven't already died, you get the chance of paying half off for, I guess, everything you pay. It doesn't specify units or abilities.
Yeah, like playing events or playing units. Again, if you got some ramp going on or the resupply carrier that can help get you there a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
The body I don't care too much about. The ability is pretty nice, and I can see why they gave that legendary.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave
Whether
it
it'll like constructed play, I don't know.
they gave it a cool ability, which I guess justifies the legendary because we haven't seen anything like this. But man, if this was like a 4-cost card,
oh yeah, that could be busted.
Maybe something like a little bit earlier, they could have really made this justifiable to be a legendary. But we were talking about this in the Discord earlier. I don't really know what justifies being a legendary. Is it thematic reasoning? Is it just outrageousness of the card? Like you see the Executor, you see the Annihilator, now you see this, and it's like, oh, there's a trend. All these cards that are semi-unplayable happen to be the legendaries. There's been a couple good legendaries they've spoiled. I can't name any off the top of my head, but so far, these capital ships that are just like way too late in the game, it just feels like another like finalizer feeling. Like, oh, we love the card, it's great, but
yeah,
you're probably playing Devastator instead. Or like for this, it's like I think Home 1 gives enough endgame impact.
Another thing it's got working against it is the New Republic tag, which like nothing really cares about right now.
Yeah, that's future set probably.
Mm-hmm.
Cool card, like the art and everything though. Next we got Celestan Spacer. Celestin Spacer. The 1 cost. What's up? Next slide.
Next slide.
Yeah, you're paying 1 to give a 1/1 buff. That's it.
It's another limited card.
That is a super limited card. Next one is Shadowed Hover Tank. 4 cost Cunning 5/3 Sentinel with the Fringe Vehicle Tank tag.
It's interesting. It's actually a ground unit. It looks like a spaceship, but it's
pretty neat that it is a vehicle on the ground. So like maybe like Iono cares about this, or Kazuda. Maybe this is something where like on your 4 resource turn, you just play this and deploy your leader on it, and then all of a sudden you have a 8/6 Sentinel tank. I don't know if that's viable, but I'd rather just play like a Gamorrean Guard or something and then flip my leader.
Yeah, it's like on Sabine's flip turn, you just jam that down and be like, try me.
I like the numbers on it, yeah. I mean, that's true. Like, you claim, you play this, and Sabine's like, okay, I'm gonna have to chump my 2 rebels on the ground, or Sabine's gonna die. Because by then, they probably got some ground presence to chump into it, and it only has 3 health, so Sabine unit could even kill this, so this one's like a meh. Yep, except for that vehicle tag on the ground, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next we have Prototype TIE Advanced. 3 cost Aggression Villainy card in space. It's an Imperial Vehicle Fighter with a 4/3 stat line. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, it could one-shot a Falcon, a unmodified Falcon.
Yeah, which that's been going great. They've just been coming out so big in the air, these Millennium Falcons. So right now, I do think this is still a pretty good card, but yeah, can trade most early game space units for sure. Like those punching ones and some of these pesky 4 HP units.
Yeah, I think it's decent.
Good common card. Next we got Outer Rim Outlaws. It's a 3 cost Vigilance ground unit. with the Underworld Bounty Hunter tags, which are pretty big tags. It's a 3/3 shielded, so okay, awesome. I don't have to play Evazan in the what's it called deck I was playing?
Previsla.
No,
Oh wait, no, hold on.
Gar Saxon.
Gar Saxon.
So yes. Gar Saxon doesn't have to play Evazan if it wants to fill that 4/3 shielded slot anymore. You could just play this, and you can McClunky it.
Yeah, or you could do a 2-drop Evazan with shielded, and then follow up with Outer Rim Outlaw shielded.
Oh, because that's right. That's why Evazan's on the rare side, because it's a 2 cost, right?
Yeah,
and that's why you have that. Or you can just play him. Oh wait, no, he's villainy, right? Evazan, yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe like Cad Blue could use this guy.
Yeah, I do think the tags will be what it benefits from for sure. It'll find its way in some decks, maybe.
Yeah.
Going on to the next one. So Munificent Frigate. Munificent Frigate. That's what it's gonna be. So it's a 5-cost vigilance capital ship with the Separatist vehicle tag, and it's a 4/7 with just vanilla ass text. There is no text. Yeah. So just a vanilla card. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Moving on. Indeed. To the next one. So MC-30 Assault Frigate, another 5-cost space unit. This one is a Rebel vehicle capital ship. So, and it is a 5/5 with Overwhelm and Raid 1. There we have some text.
Yeah, I like this. Rebels don't have a lot of early capital ships, or like they hardly have any capital ships, but they're all towards the late game. So this being a 5-drop helps that Rebel package. And Raid 1's pretty decent.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't mention, this can just be ECL'd in space, so like a lot of these green Rebel decks, I mean, now you've got something you can ECL in space too, which is probably going to be pretty popular, I think, this time around.
Yeah, I think this is it depends on your deck if you're trying to like go really aggro Rebels, or you're trying to play like a mid to late game Rebels. But certainly if you're going for that mid to late game, this will definitely need to be in your deck.
Yeah, I like it, and the capital ship tag's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I wish I knew where that ship came from. If anyone knows, reply in the comments.
Yeah, our lore teammate wasn't able to make it tonight, so we didn't have anyone for the lore. I'm not really the lore guy, I'll be honest. I've watched the movies, but I don't know like all these offshoots, like the animated TV shows. I'm still working my way through Clone Wars. But yeah, next we got, this one's juicy. So the card that's named after the set, Jump To Lightspeed, is a 2-cost cunning event. It's a gambit. So return a friendly space unit and any number of non-leader upgrades on it to its owner's hands. The next time you play a copy of that unit this phase, you may play it for free. Maybe you're bouncing something that has damage on it.
Yeah.
You're able to just play it again without the damage?
Yeah, well, one thing that comes to mind is the new Han unit. So, like, if you have the Falcon out and it's ready to go, and then you put Han unit on it, it can immediately shoot first an opponent's ship. Then you can play Jump To Lightspeed, return the Falcon and Han back to your hand, and then basically just, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
It's a little situational, but like you said, maybe if your ship's damaged and you like spend all this time upgrading it, and you really don't want to
lose it next phase.
Want to save phase, you can do that. Yeah, I'm not sure. It might see play, but I'm not too confident about that.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna do this against something that's putting bounties on you, and it's just another sideboard card. If like control gets out of hand again, and we get into a meta where like there's a lot of like bounty play, you could just add this to your arsenal with bamboozle, or in this case, it's a little better than bamboozle because not only do the upgrades, if someone put a bounty on your unit. Oh, I see. It ends up returning that non-leader upgrade to their owner's hand. So if so their bounty gets bounced, which isn't that good.
It could be a tempo play in that case, but
you're probably better off just playing Waylay though, so the upgrade actually dies.
Yeah, this card is basically like I've got a ship that I've invested a lot into, and I don't at all.
Yep. Pretty cool. I like it. It's a rare, so likely to see it in your packs. Next card is a 1-cost event. Just a no aspect card, so attack run. Attack with 2 space units. So it's like a rebel assault for space.
Yeah.
Without the restriction of rebel
assault, or without the bonuses.
It is without bonus. Yep.
Yeah, but the villainy decks can run this. Rebel decks that are running Rebel Assault can run this as well. So it's just like attack.
Yeah, it just gives you more gas. Maybe a Rebel deck, maybe a Leia deck would like this.
I mean, I do know like running Underworld cards like the old school Falcon. They don't really benefit from the Rebel synergy, so this would be a nice kind of addition. But
I like the art too.
Yeah, all those resistance bombers just going
down. Next card is pretty juicy. So it's apology accepted. It's a tactic event. And you see on the art, it's just such a badass art with Darth Vader.
Oh yeah.
It's a command villainy card that says defeat a friendly unit. You may give 2 experience tokens to a unit. I mean, this is screaming Vader all day.
Oh yeah, and if you like do that on Mahdi, then you get to ready a guy with 2 experience tokens on him.
I can see this getting played for sure.
I think this would be a really good resource for Palpatine decks.
Yeah, and then Palp can just like, oh well, defeat a friendly unit. Why in a Palpatine deck? Why would you say that?
I mean, Palpatine's all about like sacrificing his guys to get the bonuses.
Yeah, I think it would fit in there for sure. You wouldn't get the draw card, but I mean, you're still following kind of like the theme of the deck.
Yeah. Or even like, use this on your super laser tech. So now that you get a resource, you get to buff some other guy.
Yeah, that would be huge. Now that's good. Next card. We have a...
Oh, and also Thrawn, right? You could...
No. It has to say when defeated.
Right, but you defeat a friendly unit. And then wouldn't that trigger Thrawn?
No, because the keyword text when defeated has to be there in bold. So, like, what you could do, though, is you could be playing...
But use the trigger with a when defeated unit.
Yeah, so, like, you can use this on a Val, give it 4 XP tokens, and then give it 2 more with this. So you can give something 6 XP tokens. So, yeah, that would be ridiculous.
All for the price of 1.
All for the price of 1, which is absurd. All you got to do is play Val on your opening turn, and then play that card the next turn, or play a unit, and then just pop off. Next card is all wings report in. It is a 1-cost command event. So exhaust up to 2 friendly space units. For each unit exhausted this way, create an X-Wing token. That's pretty cool. Not really sure it'll see too much real competitive play, but it's a pretty cool card.
This might be an enabler for an Akbar deck. Like if you're trying to do this go wide with tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you use Akbar to create tokens, and then like when they're ready to use those tokens to exhaust and then make more tokens.
Yeah,
Uh,
that probably falls more into that deck, but we shall see.
yep.
Go on to the next one. So Adept Arc 170. I think we reviewed
Yeah, we've
this.
seen this one
We've seen
before.
this one. So yep.
It's a good
So,
ship.
yeah, we'll go through it quick. So 4 cost command, 3/4 Republic vehicle fighter with a restore 2. So nothing special there. I don't think the costs justify the stats, but I could be wrong. Next is Jedi Light Cruiser. It's a vanilla card that is a heroism card that is cost 6. It's got the Jedi Republic vehicle capital ship tag, and it is a 6/7. I think the stats on the body are pretty good for 6.
Yeah. Um, the Jedi tag might be relevant.
I mean,
Let's
if it had
see.
force tag, it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be some play with like Jedi, but this is again like another capital ship for heroism that isn't like at 8 or 9 cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish it had force tag, but it's all good.
Well, I mean it's the ship, so
Yeah. Going into the next one, so this one is a uncommon Jarek Jaeger.
it's like Jaeger. Yeah.
2 cost
I'm
command
thinking,
card that is a ground unit, and you can pilot it for 2 cost, and it's a 2/2. So everything's 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
yeah, I think this is from the Resistance show.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, you control a ground unit and a space unit. Attached unit gains Sentinel. Wow, that is the most. That is a conditional card.
um, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
So it costs more to get that ability, but this might just be more limited play.
yeah, limited play for sure. This wouldn't take Biggs' spot in some of these aggression hero decks that are running green.
Mm.
Yeah. Next, we got Insurgent Saboteurs. I actually think this card is pretty good. It's a 6 cost aggression card, ground unit with the Rebel Trooper tags, which we know are relevant, and then it's a 6/5 Saboteur. And on attack, it's got upgrade hate built into it, so it reminds me of Ketsu Onyo.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit later game, and it can be ECL'd, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, good tags, good ability.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, probably a pretty good limited card.
Mm-hmm.
Next one's pretty hot, so it's Hot Shot Maneuver. It's a 1 cost aggression event. Choose a friendly unit for each of its on-attack abilities. Deal 2 damage to a different enemy unit. Then attack with the chosen unit. So how many on-attack abilities besides Sabine's ship? I forget what it's called. Sabine's masterpiece.
Masterpiece. I
It's just
wonder if you had the Ghost, the new Ghost, and you had your specters out like Chopper and Kanan and Sabine.
mm-hmm.
Was it like the Ghost gives everyone the same abilities? So is that how you'd stack multiple on attacks?
Oh my god, that would be crazy. Um, I think that's
I'm just
I think it's
going out
asking
on a
for a
limb.
lot. Yeah, I think that's asking for a lot to happen to make that line up consistently. But at least at very bottom, like the floor of this card's pretty good because at very least you're doing 2 damage to something and then trading out with it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, it's
pretty cool.
definitely a very versatile card. So
Yeah,
we'll see how much play it sees.
yeah. I think it's interesting. The tactic tag on it is could be a Stila find as well.
Mhm.
So maybe like a Mace Windu deck. I keep using Mace Windu as a reference for these like ping cards, but I mean, hey, more food for them.
Yeah.
Next, we got In the Heat of Battle. It's a disaster 2-cost vigilance event. Each unit gains Sentinel and loses Saboteur for this phase. That's kind of busted. Because regardless of events having regardless of units having Saboteur, you just give every unit gains Sentinel. So there's
right,
arrows.
but also your opponents as well. So you kind of have this like stalemate of like, two walls of sentinels facing each other. I guess you're going to be playing this card and your opponent doesn't, so you could use that. But yeah, I don't.
I could see this like in a game losing scenario where you need a get out of jail free card. This is the card if you have multiple units. And everyone's going to be like, what the hell is this card? And you play this and you're like, yeah, everything I have has Sentinel.
Yeah, and it's a 2-drop as well, so you're not spending a lot for it. So
yeah, like late game, you could just slap this down and it's like, all right, you got to get through some Sentinels. Well, I think it's a cool card.
Playing a couple units as well.
It might be insane in Twin Suns, though. Like this card in Twin Suns is an auto include, just for shenanigans.
In politics, yeah.
So funny. And then we got barrel roll. So, let me do
a barrel roll.
Ooh. Doing a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll. Like as soon as this card was spoiled in the Discord, everybody just started dropping Star Fox memes. It was hilarious. But it is a 1-cost cunning event tactic barrel roll. Attack with a space unit. After completing this attack, you may exhaust a space unit. I think the card is really good.
I
mean, that right there, just especially with space going to be a little more prevalent, this could be a solid card when you need just some disruption or tempo play.
Yeah, like maybe you have the initiative and you have a ship that is going to get one-shotted by your opponent, so you just play barrel roll, get to attack, exhaust their thing, and then buys you time to give them support.
Have Peppy do his thing. Or barrel roll. I love it. And we had a couple things spoiled too. So the damage pad, pretty cool. So they've got the white one and they've got the black one. I actually pre-ordered the black one at our local game store. I've got the black one on pre-order. I'll probably end up buying the white one. I think this is a freaking awesome idea.
Yeah, it's very cool.
This is really cool because I think on streams, like just for like broadcasting and tournaments and stuff, I think this will be really helpful for them to maybe keep better track and be able to read it better if they're big enough. It looks like they'll be relatively able to be read.
Yeah. It's definitely cool, and the base slots right in there. I'm curious if it has the auto advancing, so like when you hit 9 and then you increment up to 10, like do both numbers. The only reason I wouldn't get this is because I don't have it near me, but I do have a base that's got magnets in it and it'll auto advance. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think I just pre-ordered it just for excitement. I was like, I want one of everything that's coming out.
They have a lot of cool products coming out.
Yeah, and they have it going up to 49. So they're actually future-proofing how much it goes up, so it goes beyond 30. Cool. And then we did get a little preview of what are called the intro battle auth. So intro battle, it's a easy to learn version of the game, they're saying. So self-contained product specifically created for players who have never played a TCG. Contains 2 pre-built, ready-to-play decks, 1 featuring Darth Vader and his invading Imperial army, and 1 featuring Leia Organa and her entrenched rebel forces. Pretty cool.
So now the question is, does this come with the Darth Vader unit card?
That is a great question, because that is definitely going to be one of those cards that I think we might see in the game being played. Pretty
Well, I
sweet.
meant the old school Vader unit.
Well,
It's like his art is like him on him in
yeah,
Echo Base. But I doubt they'll include a legendary in a.
yeah. A $40-$50 legendary is going to be in the $20 or $30 box.
Yeah, I unboxing. Well, Vader throw everything else away.
I think it's great that they're doing this just because like they did the spotlight decks, but they did explain that spotlight decks they're trying to make a little more like viable to be like somewhat competitive. Probably not very competitive, but I mean, you know,
Yeah, yeah. I would think if you're going with a spotlight deck into a locals, you'd have a better run than if you had a starter deck. So that's nice that this product kind of fills that starter deck void,
mm-hmm.
where it's a resource for new people to get into the game because we love to see new players
Yep.
getting into SWU. And if this helps them, then all the better.
Yeah, I mean, I played the starter decks from set 1 and set 2, and I loved them. It was nice to be able to just open a deck, play it, learn the game. So I'm stoked on this
Yeah,
for newer players.
so that's good.
Yeah, I like that it's specifically made for new players, and it even says on the box "new player game."
Mhm.
So that I think that'll bring some new players into the game for sure. And then lastly, we've got the Twin Suns mat that looks like the guy with the aspects on his arm. I don't know what his name is.
Oh yeah. The guy who made a major commitment.
He made a huge commitment to this, like aspects for life.
Yep.
But you got some guys in the picture. You've got some guys almost bald spot, and then you've got the Matt. Matt looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
Interesting how they chose to put the. They were confident enough and probably tested the mat enough to know, like, all right, this is comfortable spacing. But something tells me it might just be a little. I guess now with this, like, if you use the mat, you have to be at a table that's like big enough to seat everybody here. Yeah.
I imagine it looks like maybe if you had a folding table that would fit okay.
Yeah. Yep. Folding table will probably do it, and then most average tables at card stores will be able to do it. But I think it's cool. Not bad.
Yeah, I couldn't. I could see like card shops buying these mats and like having them good to go. I don't know too much about like individual players kind of like toting those around, but it's certainly cool. But that is cool that there's all 4 spots marked out, and I know from experience like with the 2-player mat, the 2-player mat's bigger than if you had 2 1-player mats next to each other because I always have room, and this looks like it's the same kind of setup where I don't think cramping will really be a problem.
No, I'm pretty stoked on it, and Twin Suns getting the buff with having an 80 card cap now in the deck.
Yeah, very cool.
So then, and I know there was an article rolled out today on Twin Suns, which I don't want to cover on this because I would like to cover that separately as I'm starting to get into Twin Suns. I've played some locally, and I think it's a great refresher for, well, especially after PQs, after tournaments are done, you just want to like play some fun Star Wars. It's been really fun. But I'd like to do a segment video on that too, so we could just do a little sort of covering of what they've sort of announced today, because I didn't read it, but I heard people who read the article it made them excited for Twin Suns, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know for myself, like there's all these new cards, and it's like, well, I already have my deck, and it's already like packed to the brim. How am I going to put all these new Jump to Lightspeed cards in there? But now I can just add on top of what I already have, which is awesome. So yeah, definitely excited to build out my Han Chewie Twin Suns deck.
Yeah, I'm really excited here. This is going to be awesome. Set 4 is going to be amazing.
Oh yeah.
We'll go into final thoughts. So thanks for hopping in here and getting to review some of these cards that got spoiled. The end of the spoils. So I think next...
get the cards.
Any announcements you want to make? I know you did a blog today.
Yep, I put a new blog on Doc. It's about tilting and like how it affects the community and how to prevent tilting from happening. So certainly worth a read.
Yep, and it happens. We're a competitive group.
The article I shared experience that happened to me. So yeah, we're all human.
No doubt. I'm stoked to read it. But yeah, go to tudebase.com, check that out. And of course, as always, it's great talking to you guys. Thanks, YouTube. If you enjoyed the video today, just hit the subscribe button. You know how it is. And we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.
See ya.